we're surrounded by cats. So it is Elven. Elven. Okay, everybody. She has a question. She's the oracle. Elven, they're gonna ask you questions. Do you have a question now? You were saying about Trump we've dealt with, right?
Yes.
He's good to go.
Yes, he's good to go.
Actually, he's good to go for 8 years. I can add this quickly. The reason why he's probably going to be re-elected is because the first 4 years are going to be tough, right? He's going to have to rearrange the entire situation with everybody. And the others also, right? The whole system has to be rearranged by 2020 with the astrology we discussed about 7 times now. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, all lined up at the end of Capricorn. And so in 2020-21, the economic cycle of the world will clearly resume to go up. Okay, so we're still on the way down for another 4 years. We know all that. It's not like a flash crash that's coming. Sure, there's going to be problems and stuff. That's all part of the change, but it's a gradual morphing into a new situation. I'm not sure if there's reset, what the new currencies will be. We'll see all about that. But after 2020, a new astrological situation kicks in, but we're first going to have to discuss the next 3 years, in which when Trump would have turned the equation of the United States towards the rest of the world, chances are actually he can get re-elected and then really launch. And that would mean that by 2024, 25, 26, when Saturn and Neptune are conjunct, we actually go into a way better phase. That's then accompanied by Uranus and Pluto triangle trine, where the whole technological world becomes more useful to humanity. Aquarius, Pluto, Gemini, Uranus. So the entire picture, in short, gets better and better, because a lot of people are still in anxieties about the change, but as we said, change happens. And actually it is for the better. At least the astrology looks better and better over the next, say, 10 years, 5 to 10 years. And the events that are happening and that are in motion are pointing actually towards a societal change, towards a new social science, in fact. And with Neptune in Pisces, we're talking really about shared prosperity, about an economy that the whole world takes a part in. Okay, I'm talking about big changes that of course are generational. I'm looking at Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, like the elder planets. So we're always talking from 2020 to 2040, we're talking automatically 20 years changes. But you see, what's going on now is the historical moment in the middle of 2016, leading into 2017, where the equations are beginning to shift, right? We can feel now everything is morphing, coming apart. For instance, in Europe it's clear, and in the whole Western world, most nations have become aware that they would prefer to actually manage their own affairs rather than to be part of a bloc and be told by the bloc leaders what to do. And Putin had taught this to everybody. He said the future of the world is not in those blocs. The future of the world is a interactive, interrelated economy, or I would say a federation in the world, kind of like the Galactic Federation, where people who want to work with each other, people, nations, etc., will work with each other in alliances, and there will not be blocs fighting each other. This is history, and that's what we're beginning to live now, the undoing of the old order, moving, transitioning into a whole new existence in this world.
Paradigm?
A new paradigm, yes. What was next?
So what happens in 2017? Because that's going to be here before we know it, by the time it's flying by.
Yep. In a half a year, we start out with Jupiter in Libra, opposite Uranus in Aries. That's dynamic. I mean, that's like powerful. That's right after probably Trump elected. The entire shift, the entire world have to get used to the new the real change. The Jupiter in Libra alignment is balance, right? That's very positive. That's going to work together well with Saturn in Sagittarius. Therefore, new treaties will be much easier to come by. It eases up, but there's tension all the way. End of August 2017, very good time if you want to take note. That's the last week in August of 2017. We have Mars in Leo on the node, Jupiter in Libra, Saturn all in the 21, 22 fire and air signs. That's connected also to Uranus in Aries. So that's very, very feisty and fiery. This is a time towards the middle of 2017, August, a year from now, where the beginning of what we see happening now at the end of 2016 takes shape. The reason is also because the outer planets keep revisiting the position over time. Right now, as we are in the middle of 16, we're still reliving half of 2015. In the middle of 2017, we relive part of 16, right? That's because Pluto and Neptune always go back and forth over the degrees. It's really in 2018 that the picture changes and becomes actually even more cooperative. So you have Mars in Scorpio, Jupiter in Scorpio. Is a very powerful year, well aligned with Neptune, Neptune in Pisces, new ideals, shared prosperity, a world that thinks of how everybody can be part of this. So you see all these themes are beginning to take shape. Then in 2019, and you know I have all this written, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, I have actually up to 2025. So you can look at this at newmindtech.org, newmindtech.org. To make a long story short, we arrive at March 20, 2020, March 20, 2020, right? That's Vernal Equinox Sun in Aries One. She finds it interesting. Anyway, at that point, you have the moment when the four planets line, right? Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, far up, all lined up at around 22, 24, 28 Capricorn. That's really what I call the kryptonite here. It's the Doppler effect. It's just an enormous wave pattern coming at us, which will simply change everything. That's what we've said many times. So if you want to put it down the date, it is the vernal equinox of 2020. And the whole end of March and April and the entire year of 2020 will be, I'd say, pretty extreme. Then on the beginning of January in 2021, that's where I would say we have switched the picture. And you can look at the charts I have on my site. That's the moment when the small planetoid, asteroid, whatever, a small thing out there also enters Capricorn, is called Ixion. And at that moment you have a bunching up of about 20 planets, asteroids and stuff, all between galactic center, meaning Sagittarius, Capricorn and Aquarius. So it really becomes an issue of society and how the world transitions itself into a new paradigm, into a new self-governance. There are just going to be new priorities, and this is a process that's going on now. People are becoming aware that there is an entire different consciousness that has actually arisen past tense. Otherwise we wouldn't be seeing all these movements everywhere.
I had asked earlier about all of the people transitioning across borders.
It's kind of the same story as you saw with Alex Jones and then from Guatemala, Mexico, etc. being brought into the US. That's about the picture we have in Europe. There are some issues we can discuss in face-to-face meetings. As you know, we do that with my network. I think the problem that the Germans have is that they were told to accept something that they're not having control of, and over the next, say, 2 to 4 years, there are going to be changes in the structure of Germany itself and of Europe itself due to all that. So you see, these changes that look on the face of it very threatening will actually produce the better results for society. See, she likes it here, she's okay. She is a Leo cat born in the year of the tiger. And her name is Elven. Elven. So now, I wanted to say then we lost a plot in 18, so now we're going to 19 and 20, right? So now we lost track at 2018. So I'm measuring always Jupiter to be the planet for the year, right? Because it changes sign once a year. In 2019, then when we have Saturn in Capricorn, things get serious, because then everything starts bunching up in Capricorn as we go into 2020. That's like the eye of the needle moment. So it begins building up in 19 through the whole of 20. That's sort of the end of the 4-year cycle.